Hey all, and we're back to a new week and a new series of reviews. These kind of go together. Today's and the next three, basically. You'll understand as we get going, but the focus today is going to be on part one of really a trio that's going to lead to a combined mode. What am I talking about? Because I'm throwing around a bunch of words. I'm talking about this guy. It is the Armada Optimus Prime, and he is going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, man, that's right, hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, and L, the Autobot family. Have a look for me everywhere across social media, and while you're at it, check out the Patreon and what we offer on Teespring. You know, get yourself a mug, tote bag, shirt, whatever. And this is Armada Optimus Prime, and I'm gonna tell you now, this is not going to score well. This is not good. It's not. I've handled and looked at a lot of Optimus Primes, and this might not only be the worst Optimus Prime that I've ever held, it might be the worst Transformer, even beating out Universe Galvatron, which is saying something. Does that mean it's all bad? No, it's not all bad. In fact, it's a little bit difficult when you're trying to look at things objectively and you're balancing it subjectively. We have to dig in, we have to start somewhere, and I said that this is going to really be part one. We're also going to look at, because there are other characters that go with this guy, in essence. We're also going to look at, coming up, Jetfire. We're also going to look at Overload, and then we're going to look at all three of them together, because they kind of work as a set. Keep in mind that recently we looked at Robots in Disguise, Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime, or Fire Convoy if you will, and their combined mode. And while there was good and bad, there's a lot there that was absolutely stellar. How is this going to shape up to something that was even older than this? You know, I mean, this was advanced technology and design, right? Or was it? Well, we're about to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Okay, so we're gonna get into part one of this little four-part series, and part one means we're going to look at the Transformers Armada Optimus Prime. And I've said for a long time, man, that I feel like, though Unicron Trilogy isn't my thing, I have felt like the fans of Unicron Trilogy have often been underserved, especially with updates. I was very happy to see a little while ago that Fans Hobby showed off Naval Commander, which is basically a third-party version of this. I'm going to tell you right now, if you like Armada, or if you're just coming into the fandom and you have decided, hey, I actually like Unicron Trilogy, that's my jam, man, don't go back in time and get this. It is awful. This, a while ago I did a countdown of the top 10 worst Transformers in my collection. I don't own this. This is on loan to me by enemy of the channel, Maximal10, and he done this to punish me. I know he did. And like, had I owned this, it would have been high on the list, if not number one. This is awful. Awful, awful. It's not going to score well. If you love it, man, this is not going to be the review for you, because there's nothing good here as far as I'm concerned. Nothing. It is going to be an adventure, though. This will be a success if it doesn't catch on fire, because this is known to catch on fire. The best thing about this is the Minicon on top. You will notice, maybe, that we have two of that Minicon. We'll talk about that in a few moments. This is the best mode, hands down, the truck mode. It rolls nice. It doesn't look good, like it looks awful. These things on the side can open up right here if you want them to now for some reason. The trailer doesn't look good with that huge Autobot symbol. If you unpeg the trailer and like take it, we'll just lay that off for a moment. This is your base truck. It looks awful. I don't dig it at all. Now, for me, to be fair, my Optimus is your regular old G1, this time represented by Earthrise. I want to do a very slight update on my Earthrise for a moment, if I may, but we'll get to it in a minute. But like, at least the proportions of the Earthrise look kind of right. Like, the proportions look fine. I feel like on this guy, taking him out of it, I feel like on this guy, like the back, I get it, we're used to the back end often being too long, but I feel like it's way too long here. I do like the front of the cab, I'll give credit where credit is due, but the truck mode, hands down, is the best mode of this. Since we saw them with the trailer, here we have both of them with their trailer, and admittedly the Earthrise one here, I mean, you could use the Earthrise trailer, you can use the Second Chance trailer like I have, or, as was recently pointed out to me, you can use the MP10V trailer if you're down for it. Thanks, RendersFX, for pointing that out. A lot of people might go that route. But you can see the difference here. The proportions here look right to me. The proportions on the other one, I mean, they look bulky. It is what it is. I know it's the aesthetic. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Before we go on, a very quick note I just wanted to show very quickly for what I did with this trailer. Just a very quick aside, if I may. Last week on GotBot Goes Live on Thursday nights, we did talk about this trailer ever so slightly. Maybe it was even 2 weeks ago, because I had a package come from Grimlock Gone, who sent me a trailer hitch. Now, he actually sent me 2 trailer hitches, and the hitch is intended to go on the trailer of Earthrise Optimus to extend the range of movement of the cab when turning. But the second one I was able to attach to this. What I did, for anybody who has this or has since ordered it, because I know it's up for pre-order again at a couple of spots, I guess a restock, you can come down here and there's a screw right there that you can remove. If you remove that screw and get one the right size, you can just put another screw right back in there and put the trailer hitch on here. This hitch up right here is what goes down into the slot on Earthrise Optimus now. Because this is intended to go with Age of Extinction Optimus, if I really wanted to put it back with that cab, I can easily just unscrew that piece that I added there, and we still have the attachment here correct to go with the Age of Extinction Optimus. It's pretty great. I thank him very, very much for it. Yeah, so that's pretty fantastic. Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand. And we're going to kick things off with probably the best part of this entire set, and that is going to be the little Minicon Sparkplug, who I think we all know is really Bumblebee. He came out with a premium deco, where he doesn't even have windows anymore, they just chromed the entire thing. They also, on the premium deco, changed the kind of gray plastic down and underneath to this like maroon plastic. I don't know why, but I figured I'd show both of these now because I had both of them here. He rolls pretty great. The transformation is actually pretty clever for this guy. I like it. We can lift off the arms. We can pull up, really kind of pull up the entire back section, fold in the center of the hood, and fold this down. That gives us his chest and head. And then we stand those up and we angle the arms down, and boom, here we have Bumblebee. I mean Sparkplug in his robot mode. And here he is with Golden Lagoon Bumblebee. I mean premium Sparkplug. Sorry for the name changes there, but, you know, Sparkplug didn't exactly fit. Never liked it. Never liked when they change names like that. I get it. Sometimes you gotta rename stuff. I get it, but when you totally change the character, I don't know, it doesn't work for me, but that's just me, and that's a subjective thing. Objectively, they're fun little cars. The transformation is clever. I like the way it's done for something this small. I'm going to say that in terms of coloration, it's all right, I guess. It's a little bit plain. I mean, we should have kind of blue, green, turquoise, something like that on the head, but I get why you couldn't. I think the hands are supposed to be gray. They're not. Obviously, the premium deco is not exactly animation accurate. I don't know. We'll say it's... Here's the thing, you'd have to know that it's Sparkplug, because I think most people would look at this and say it's Bumblebee. But if you know Sparkplug from Armada, then this is pretty good, I guess. It's all right. It's enough that I'll give it an 8. The conversion, 10. I think it's really clever. The articulation for the guy, well, the lower legs don't really do anything. The feet can bend forward and back. The head doesn't do anything really. The arms can go all the way around and out because of ball joints, but like no elbow or anything. 5, I guess. Overall, this little guy, he's probably a 6, maybe a 6.5. It's an okay Minicon. There are better Minicons, but it's okay for what it is. The saving grace is how clever and fun the transformation is. The rest of it is just, average, middle of the road. What about the big bot himself? Man, I wish I could say that there was something good here, something worth liking here. There's not. We're gonna take this off and lay it aside for now. Obviously, that'll come into play later on. We're going to look just at the truck here. Again, it rolls fine, has gigantic plastic tires on it. So between RID and this, not only did like the look go down, but we lost rubber tires. Remember when this came out, Robots in Disguise had come out just a couple of years earlier. Don't forget that. We recently looked at the RID Optimus, or Fire Convoy if you prefer, here on the channel, and that thing is amazing, even today in 2020. This came after that. There's a bunch of electronics that you could see through the clear windshield. Okay, I guess that's supposed to be for the infrared thing that makes the trailer change, I guess. I suppose. Where do we even start with this? I don't know, like, is it good? I don't think this is good. We're gonna come down here, we're gonna extend those, I guess, and flip those hands up. This just came right off. That's never happened before. Okay, so we're gonna try this again after I tore that part off. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Am I even surprised? No, not even surprised anymore. Okay, so let's try this disaster again. So we're going to extend the legs, fold those hands in, which actually bring out the robot mode feet. We're going to bring those arms down for a now. We're going to try to pick that off the front and bring this down on the chest. And I guess we'll leave it open for now. We're going to come up here and we should be able now to split the two shoulder sections, I believe, and angle down and angle down. Split the legs and he's gone off screen. I'm just gonna reorient things a little bit. So I'm a little bit sorry there. When we went off screen, what I kind of neglected to show is that we have like a gray armature in here, and this normally is up like that. We bring both of these shoulder pieces down to the side, and of course, as I said before, we split the legs. We bring this down on the chest. We have a painted in matrix. It cannot come out. We can also then, or we should be able to, there, close that up. We can come down here and we should be able to straighten out the elbow, and that should slide up to reveal his fist section, and same here. And make sure that they're down. Boom, in the end here we have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. That's a big, ugly, bulky boy, and here he is next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime, just to give you a sense of scale now in the modern age. I will tell you now, the RID Optimus is infinitely better than this. Okay, so what about his look, his style, his paint apps? The hands should be yellow, the gold up here should be yellow, his feet should be like a gray color, as I recall from the animation. That might be it. That might be it to get him animation accurate, I think. The Fan's Hobby is actually way more animation accurate than this. So, I don't, like, you definitely know it's Armada Optimus. I guess it's a 9. It's pretty accurate for the most part. I guess it's a 9. In terms of the transformation, I don't think it's fun at all. Not even a little bit. But that's just me. It doesn't, I don't know, it's fiddly. Like, I don't like pushing these pieces up. The legs, of course, are your typical extend them. But they almost, I don't know, they almost seem too long. it's too obvious their legs. I don't know. Like, it's effective, I guess. I do like these pieces pulling down, but I think that it should have been engineered more like Warbotron's Onslaught, where these pieces sort of come down, but then you still have a full rotation at the shoulder. You don't seem to have that here. Maybe. Oh, no, you do. My mistake. I apologize. I take that back. I'll say... I don't know. We'll say the transformation again is an 8. Like, I'm giving it credit where credit is due, because it works. Kind of. I mean, you know, I guess it works. The articulation, this can go all the way around. We do have an elbow to 90 degrees, no bicep, no outward movement. We can press this doofy button on his head, and it makes his mouth plate go up and down like in G1. Not like in Armada, where it doesn't move. The legs can go forward. They can't really go back. We do have a 90 degree at the knee, unless the leg is straight, then all of this is back here, and you don't have 90 degree at the knee. Cannot go out to the side. Minus 90 for articulation. It's garbage. Here's the thing. There's a few points here, and I know what you're thinking. Hey, GotBot, why don't you give it like a 5, man? Because the line that came before this was better. Every Optimus that came before this, every Optimus Primal was better. Optimus and RID was better. I've had KOs that are better than this. This is awful articulation. Awful articulation. But you know what? I'll be nice. I'll be nice for you guys. Let's say it's a 5. I know I said minus 90. Let's say it's 5. So the base robot mode overall, having an 8, an 8, and a 5, is probably about a 6.5. But we're not done with this guy. Not by a long shot, because remember that trailer? Yeah, that trailer. Now here's the thing. You can just open it up, but it's also supposed to work with this infrared sensor. There's a button on the top of the cab, and you're supposed to be able to press it, and this thing will transform on its own. It's been known to catch on fire. So, I don't know. I guess we'll try it. In truck mode, this is supposed to transform to the trailer. In smaller robot mode, this is supposed to transform into a base. And then when you put this guy in the configuration for his like super mode, whatever it is, then this is supposed to turn into a pair of pants. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try the automatic thing. You come down underneath if you want to try it, and there's a button right there. And now I should probably back this up so we have the room to see if this works. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's see if this works. No? So you know what? Because that doesn't want to work, there you go. There, wonderful. Amazing. That's what this opens out into. Just like that. I guess. I suppose it's a fine base. We can take Optimus's blaster off from there. This can go in his hand. I guess I'll do that. Okay, so now we have this opened up, and I guess I'll try and show some features here. Can I open this out? Yeah, I can open that. So, first things first, you can come over on the side, and you can open out that thing, and you can, I guess, put Minicons, I guess, in there. This should be able to... You'll notice the noises there because this is on. Put that down, I guess. You can put like Minicons. I guess I'll get one and see if we can make any of this work. Like there are Minicon ports, so you can come here, I guess. And I don't know. I don't know if this can even do anything. I have no idea. That doesn't do anything. Maybe over on the other side somewhere. No, apparently that Minicon port's supposed to do something. I can't get it to do anything. This piece goes up. When I picked that up, it made... There's a little button there. If you hit it, it makes noises, I guess. I suppose. The Minicons can go on there. The Optimus, he can come in with his blaster. He can get here and like man the cannon thing, I guess. If you want him to do that. You know, if you think that's a good base for him. Optimus has always sort of had a base. Some more successful than others. This, I will give credit where credit is due. I don't get all the gimmicks and the noises and stuff on it. But it is simple to get here. It does open way out, which is nice. And it almost has like a city-ish type of feel to it. So I give credit where credit is due. For a base, it's alright. It's an okay trailer, even though it has treads. I don't understand why the trailer had treads. But it's an alright base, and it's easy to get here, whether you have the mechanism work or whether you don't. Then we have to go to the last mode, which is going to be this as pants. Again, you should be able to put the upper body in the configuration for pants, and then this thing should just automatically go there. Because that hasn't been working for whatever reason today, although it did work last night, to be fair, so the mechanism did work off camera, I'm just going to come here and, oh, I guess we'll put that in, and put that in, do this, and now we have a pair of pants. Now my apologies before we go on here. In base mode, you could have pulled this blaster out. It moves all the way around. It does have a firing rocket in there. When this becomes pants, it stands up. You got a lot of kibble on the back, baby. A whole lot. These cannot move. That's a solid brick. It just stays there like that. What about the upper body? Well, with the upper body, you're going to end up sliding it down here. There's a peg and a port on the body when we get it done that goes down here and pushes down the button, and this little peg over here goes up into the slot. There's these two other pegs here, and they kind of go into the headlight section. So like there's multiple locking points for the body to go on, but even then it's still not very secure. And now we're back with that hyper-dynamic upper body piece, which is really just the main robot. And oh boy, this is not good. Okay, see if I can actually remember this. And I don't promise that I can remember this now. I may not. That should, okay, these pieces should come back up over, and this should be able to come back up over. You will notice that we have the combined, we'll say, mode head down there, which looks kind of like I always thought it looks like a fish. And we have to get these arms out of the way, I think like that, so that we can, yeah, split the legs and bring them out. And it's like this. We rotate, and we rotate, and we bring it down, and getting that arm out of the way, we should be able to bring it down. There. This head it likes to pop up automatically, like that. We'll bring that up around, and extend, bring that up around, and extend. Kind of like that. Bring this down, and we'll bring this down. This piece just popped off. I'm going to put this back on. But basically, using all the connection pieces down here, that's how we get this put on. But before we do that, we turn the arms around. Now, fun fact, this grill piece has popped off twice during the review. It did not pop off at all. When I was practicing, I heard it's a problem. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's the same thing with the mechanism. It's been working intermittently. Whoa. This needs to go sandwiched on down here. And you get this as your super mode. The head can go left and right, and I guess look back, can't look down. These earpiece things move. This looks like that, like a fish head, like I don't know, like he'd buddy around with King Poseidon or Piranhacon or something. The shoulder pieces can go, you know, back and around. They can go up, no out to the side. We can bend at the knees. The legs do like to come apart, even though they're static. They don't like to stay pegged in. There's nothing from the waist down. I guess if you want him to hold a blaster, he could always angle his shoulder a bit and have it go forward. Very limited. This is your pose that you're getting. He has a ton of ugly back kibble, like a ton of it. How big is this guy? Well, let's put him in comparison to a couple of things that we know well. Here he is with a modern day Voyager, that being the Earthrise Optimus Prime again, so he is significantly bigger. What about with a Power of the Primes Optimus Prime? He's bigger than that. And finally, next to a Combiner Wars Power of the Prime style combiner. Yes, this is a made up amalgamation. It's my combiner version of Death Source. I know, it's a bit of a mess and a mishmash, but until something better comes along, it is kind of what it is. So he's slightly bigger than that. You could probably say his height is comparable to like Commander class Jetfire. And so there you have it. The transformation to get here is not good. It's lazy. I don't like anything about it. The connection point is, there's a bunch of connection points. It doesn't hold together as strong as I'd like for it to. The look is awful. Nothing about this screams Optimus Prime to me in the least. The way the paint is, it feels and looks like a KO. I don't like it. Here's the thing, objectively speaking, the base robot and the truck mode is okay, the combined mode is trash. So objectively speaking, the rest of it is sort of functional as long as it doesn't set on fire at a 6 or 7. Subjectively speaking, this is the worst thing I've ever handled from the Transformers franchise in any way, shape, or form. This is awful. This is worse than Universe Galvatron. I detest everything about it. Now, that's not to say that fans shouldn't be serviced. Here's what I would say. I don't think that Unicron Trilogy fans were serviced very well in the beginning. I don't think they've been serviced particularly well in terms of updates. I see something like what Fans Hobby is doing, and I think that is infinitely, that's not even in the same realm as this. That's infinitely better. If you are a fan of this Optimus, of this show, and you want a version of this Optimus, do not go back and find this. Do yourself a favor, be happy, get something that's going to be dynamic and functional, go for the Fans Hobby third-party offering, because it's head and shoulders better than this monstrosity. And here we are once again, and this was rough. The truck is definitely the best mode. The Super Robot is definitely the worst mode, being just a huge brick. The arms barely move. It looks bad. It looks cheap. It feels cheap. This, at least, is passable, I guess? It's definitely a different silhouette for Optimus. That's not where my problem lies. Honestly, my biggest problem with this is the excessively limited articulation. Now, I did say legs don't go out to the side, but I guess if you split them, I guess they go out to the side. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't. The aesthetic, I believe, probably could be okay for some people. And some people will look at the, this silhouette and think, this is my Optimus. This is the Optimus, like I grew up with and stuff. And I would agree that, it has its merits. It definitely hits on some of the points. I really like how the face mask moves, even though it didn't do it in the show. But functionally, this is not great. It is such a step back, huge, enormous step back from what we got in Robots in Disguise. The arms go around, sure. They bend at the elbow, sure. But when you compare that to like Fire Convoy, his arms could go out, they could turn, there was a wrist. No waist here. I'm pretty sure there was a waist on that Optimus. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think there was. The legs, that one could move all over the place. This one, not so much. Now, you might say, well, I guess it can, but like this is all in the way. Here's the thing. Some people will say, hey, but that was a different line. It was a different line. It was an earlier line. Call me crazy, but shouldn't the thing that comes later be designed better? Just saying. I guess it just goes to prove that that's not always the case. I don't know if I'm being harsh on this guy or if I just had expectations that were a little too high. Let me know what you think about this guy and what your thoughts are when you look back on him. You know, I love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donation link down in the description. Don't forget, you can always visit the Patreon or our items on Teespring. Don't forget, most importantly, that somehow, someway, each and every single solitary day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way when we look at part 2 of this little series right here inside the videos.